Right, folks, welcome back to the next leg of this turnaround flight. So this isn't a cold dark startup, this is exactly how I left off with the previous flight into Sydney. I better turn off the strobe, the beacon light. So here we are, back again with this Qantas freight StarTrack livery. I think they still use this real life, but they still use the BAE 146s. I think they must have a whole lot that they rotate, because when I was in Brisbane there was like six or seven of them parked up at the airport there. So they must just rotate through the aircraft because they are very old aircraft, and guessing parts are few and far between. But we'll get in and we'll start. We will upload the next flight. So yeah, we're going to go up to Brisbane today. Carry on up to Brisbane. Import the flight plan. We'll start refueling. Get that new fuel on board. Alright, what we will do is we will carry on with our. So everything was as it was when we shut down the aircraft. So we'll just go through and enter in the so I'm going to, even though this is not a DME, I do want a bearing, so I'm just going to enter in the Sydney DMEs and just add that in as a fix, and that will give me a bearing, so I can use a bearing, as you'll see, like so. So 341 is our outbound. And our VOR is 16, so I'll set that. Oh, yeah, we'll set that in our active. Oh no, we'll switch these over just so we can have the VOR as a bit of reference. So 16. Oh. And we'll set up our outbound as well to get that set up. So that's going to be select 17 on here, like so. And our cruise altitude is going to be 30,000 feet, so we'll get that pre-selected into here as well. And we'll do the rest while we're flying, just so we can get going. We only need to set up the this one here for the Brisbane VOR. Oh, 30,000 feet. Well, actually, we'll make it 28. We'll fly at 26,000 feet because it's also another very short leg. Oh, we'll turn on our flight directors, we'll turn that on, we'll set our heading speed, runway heading. We will try not clicking that just yet because I feel like that might be a little bug thing, as we found it didn't capture the IAS when we engaged it on the very first time when we flew out of Melbourne. Right, we'll bring up our flight FSR. It did really well with the previous flight with the vectoring. I'm really happy with that. Right, we'll turn on our AC pump and we'll raise the first we'll come in and we'll load our aircraft like so. Stairs, side cargo door.
Cabin crew, door commander and pushback.
Right, we'll come up here, engage the flight deck, turn on the seatbelt signs, turn on all of our fuel pumps. We'll just get this all ready for our, turn that off like we didn't do last time, turn on our ice detent. So we're taking off from 16 right, which is very handy right there. Right, we'll turn off our packs. We'll select these to, select all these to on. Select this to 4. Turn on our engine master switch. We'll turn on our beacon light. Make sure that's, yep, that's going, and we can now turn on our engine, start up our engines, and we will get going. While that's firing up, I'll just load up the Brisbane DME as well, which is going to be 13.2. Yeah, as you can see, this aircraft is straightforward to fly. Once you get the hang of flying the radios, but you got the FMS too. We'll do a SMS flight one day too, so you guys can see how to do that. But make use of it. Like get into flying VOR. Like seriously, like 2 years ago, I had no idea. Like I'm a passionate flight simmer, but I just did your generic, real primitive flying when I first got into this, and literally 2 years ago I learned how to do VOR flying, like radio flying, and I really enjoyed it. It's easy to pick up, and I'm not your smart person. I'm not like by no means like I've struggled hard in school and didn't really get much, but at 38 years old, at 36, I learned how to fly it without any, like, apart from my passion for aviation. I didn't really have the knowledge on about old school flying, but I learnt, and it's really fun to do. And if you are going to want to become a pilot, it's a good skill to learn to have. Well, one thing I've select that to auto, that should be on auto. Right, that's the last bit of the engine startup, so we can now come onto here and remember to turn those on. We'll turn on our pitot, AC, engine 2 and 3 pumps. We'll turn on these various anti-ice features, turn off our continuous ignition and turn off our icing, we don't need those. Get taxi clearance for our taxi, we'll turn on our AC pumps, get that air in. We'll select this to off and that StartMaster to off as well. Select flaps 18 for our takeoff and we'll turn on our TMS and we'll set that for takeoff, and we'll select flaps, push this little thing to set all the different dials and stuff, and that sets that to our takeoff. I did do flaps 18 yet, and we'll release the parking brake, push this magic button here for our to set our trims. No warning on our takeoff config, and we can now taxi on out for our departure. Oh, and we will release the chocks. Now we can get going. Next stop, Brisbane. And we probably, actually if we just cut in over here, we'll beat that. No, we're going to have to taxi in behind that Scoot Airways aircraft. Oh, is that for us? Sweet, perfect, we'll take that. We will definitely take that opportunity. And we'll better turn on our transponder. And we'll just select it for the that mode there. TARA mode. I'll just double check that, make sure it's on the right mode, not that it. One more switch. And release this warning thing. Right, let's get cooking, guys. Let's get takeoff as fast as possible and head on up to Brizzy, mate. Oh. Right, all of our strobe lights can come on. Strobe lights are up there for those who are wondering if you guys like to do these switches automatically or manually. Right, we are just going to get going. Hopefully it's given us clearance to take off. Right. Spool up the engines.
TMS set to takeoff.
So select flex thrust.
Power set, flex achieved.
And away we go.
Speed alive, both sides. 80 knots cross-checked. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate of climb, gear up.
Alright, we can now ease off the, go to maximum continuous thrust. We can now just lower the nose and get that flaps up.
VFTO, safe height speed, select flaps up.
Alright, we'll raise the... Actually, we'll get that speed to 210. Without crashing. Right, we'll turn on our autopilot. Select indicated airspeed quickly. And we're on our way, guys. We're climbing on out of the scenic Sydney airport. Right, we're going to have to guess this. We're going to be turning right anyway. But we'll start our left turn, heading towards our AY Ambury VOR, I believe it is. Or Tamworth. We'll just double check it's 116. And we're going to probably have to just cheat and use our navigraph for a bit of guidance, as I just get a nice little screenshot for the thumbnail. Right, we'll get back with this navigraph and figure out where we're going. Right, we can turn off our landing lights, turn off our runway exit, release the crew, which there aren't any. We can now turn on our engine air, we can turn off our APU, we can turn off our AC and PTU, and we can now power down the APU itself. And now we're going to go into sync mode, lower the nose, get that speed up to 250, sync mode. And our VOR has now come alive too, so we'll manually fly towards that while we get up to speed. And we will go back into autopilot, sync the autopilot back up again. That will now hold at 250 knots, or just below it, that's fine. We'll make it 240, we won't get too perfect with that. Wait for that VOR to come in a bit more. Actually, we'll go into VOR mode, we'll speed it up a bit, let the autopilot take over, and enjoy the view outside, folks. what I will do is I'll just update my cruise altitude, which is going to be, what have I got it set? 26. We'll make it 28,000 feet. Flying out of Sydney, beautiful Sydney. Down there is the main CBD, which is a very famous approach, a very scenic approach when you're landing on runway 16. And I believe that's Byron Bay, all of those famous bays around Sydney. And the Sydney Harbour Bridge is just down there. Flying out over this suburbia Sydney region, the greatest city. And then, like, before you know it, you're basically getting into bush and suburbia, into the farm, into the the outer regions. And we will turn on our weather radar for this bit. See what's out there. Tilt it, sort of keep it around there for that tilt. Not that it does much. As you can see, folks, it's not, there's nothing much to it with VOR flying, really. It's very easy, especially if you've got an aircraft. Most of these aircraft, the autopilots can follow these radial flying, so it's, yeah, it's very, very easy, very enjoyable, very what's the word? Oh, ISIS detected. We'll just turn these on just briefly. Nah, it's very intuitive, very straightforward. You just, if you've got Navigraph, there are like free maps out there too, like, is it a little nav map or something? You can connect these VORs up and you get the radio, the bearings like we have here. It's, yeah, it's, like, it didn't take me much to learn how to do this, and I basically learnt from scratch, as it were, 2 years ago, and did not take me long to get the hang of it, and it's, yeah, it's really cool. And that's what you're using off to. You're using this, if you want to do it manually, you want this little, when you set your bearing, you want it so that this middle yellow needle is in line with these outer arrows, and that's all you have to do is keep that little yellow needle right in the center like that, and you're cooking, absolutely cooking. Right, we'll set up our Brisbane VOR into here, so it's all ready to go. 1320.
Climb.
Oh, coming up to some traffic outside, wherever that may be. Right, we'll go into TG. Actually, we'll just peel back our speed quickly. You can see using the throttle it's pretty hard to like get right. This is where you use this TMS to this basic auto throttle, this throttle management system to your advantage. Right, I think we'll be in the 600s, so we'll come into here, select sync, and it should, yeah, it should all sync up now with the relative throttle. And it's going to be a case now. You can see all the other engines all syncing to the engine number 2, and they're all syncing up to what I've set here, which is 645. And we'll see if the speed goes up or goes down. At the moment it's slightly going down, so we'll set it. We'll just set the ones column. I might go to the next, select it up to 59. Perfect time to fly over some of the mines out here. Right, is that speed increasing, or it's slowly increasing? So we've got it where we wanted it. And we'll start pulling back this in the ones column, so we'll select it to, we'll try 656. It seems to be holding that speed ever so slightly. You don't, what you actually prefer is you want it just to be a very, very gradual increase. The one you don't want is the gradual decrease, is when you're not paying attention and next minute your store warning systems are going off and you're like, what's going on? And you see your speed all the way down here, which is happens a lot when you're a sim pilot, when you're preoccupied with your favourite series on TV. But there you go, we got it at 655, and that seems to be keeping that speed relatively. It's just a very, very gradual increase more than a decrease. Oh, and we better set our altimeters too. But yeah, it's a very much got up because we're just climbing just a little bit more, but yeah, I think I'm happy with that setting. And is there any, it doesn't seem to be any weather radar coming up, so I'm not too sure if this is working or not. Oh, and we'll turn off the engine anti-ice buttons as well. I did have those on before. That will definitely be affecting engine performance. Let's see if this will come back up again, the speed. We might just have to, yeah, we might increase go up to 59. And I'll speed up the sim rate to get this smashed out. As we get lighter, I'm hoping the speed will start increasing. Right, we might have to increase the speed. I don't think it's going to increase. I think we're going to have to go to 669. Yeah, and that that kinetic energy is now increasing, so I'll just take this down to 665. Oh, and we will now go into heading mode. And head on out to 17. And I like to just do it like this. It just makes everything a bit more smoother and I guess more fine-tuned when you just use the heading mode just to get it back onto course. Because I find when you use the autopilot it gets a bit clunky. Now we can just go back into VR mode and then it will capture that. It's still slightly excessive. Right, what's our speed doing? It is still slowly dropping, isn't it? Hopefully if it's stabilized it will start picking up the speed again. Yeah, it's starting to pick up the speed. Alright, because we've been using the APU and we've got... It's only 10 litres difference, then you'll never get that onto here. But we will balance out the fuel tank, so we'll come up to here, we'll open the crossfeed, we'll shut that, and we open up these pumps, and we will turn off these ones. And we'll burn off this tank here. Turn these back on again. And that balances out the tanks, so that's perfect. Looks like we do have a bit of potential rain there, but it doesn't seem to be coming up onto here, so... I might just increase the speed a bit more, so we'll get this up to 669, get this speed back up again. We'll try 679. We'll try 789A, let's take it right back up. Right, that speed is almost coming alive, so I'll just take that back to that seems to be perfect. We're sitting on an average speed, it's just below what I've got it set, but it's slowly dropping away, so we'll just increase it just a little bit. And we've got our, oh, I better check what our, oh no, we're not, we're quite close to Brisbane. Oh no, we're 170 odd nautical miles away, so we can now go on to the Brisbane VOR now that we've got that. Now we're alive with that, we can now go switch over to Brisbane. Right, looks like we'll be landing on runway 1 left. So we'll get all set up for 1 left. As mentioned, we don't have any GPS as such. We're just going to use the RLS. No arrivals, just pure RLS approach. And we'll preset 109.5. So we've got our RLS source pre-selected, and we'll set, basically bang on, we'll get that just for reference for us to remember, and our decision height's going to be 2008, so we'll just scroll this up to 2010, round it up to 2010, and it's just a case of waiting for ATC to give us the the information that we need. And we're pretty much keeping, see, like, we're not touching the auto throttles at all, we're just using this TMS, setting it nice and smooth, setting the TGT, using this TGT setting and matching it up with where the engines are and where the speed is, and it's just a balancing act really. Yeah, using this just makes things very, very smooth and flowing. And we should go outside and enjoy the view. Little isolated pockets of showers about from the heat build-up. Alright, and I'm just going to turn off the sim rate quickly, and I'm just going to see where I'm going to be going. Just get rid of that. And the cargo flights operate out of this terminal here, this part of the international terminal, so 69, 70, 71, so I'll see if those are available, and we're just going to go vectors. What was it, 69? I'll try 69 first. And 69 is available, so we'll go for that. Increase that sim rate again, get it up to 2 times. And it's all set for, oh, yeah, and hopefully they'll give us vectors into our arrival, which we'll find out in due course. But I guess we could look at starting our descent soon, so the rule of thumbs is the 3 times table, so 3 times 28 equals, yeah, we're gonna 84 nautical miles, so I'll start our descent now, so we'll just go into descent mode, pull back our throttles, sync the autopilot, pitch down, select what you want, so we're going to go around about 2,000 feet per minute, re-engage the autopilot, and oh, I didn't do that correctly, I need to go VS mode first, sync the autopilot, nose down, select your vertical speed, and then what I meant was when it's in sync mode, when you want you pitch down to your desired vertical speed and you re-engage the autopilot, and it will it will follow the vertical speed that you got set, and we'll just quickly scroll down our altitude and we'll just get it set for below 18,000 feet, so we are always ahead of the aircraft. And I remember when you're in start your initial descent, that's when you turn on your PTU. It doesn't really matter. I've been reading stuff online and pilots generally get this all sorted during the descent. They don't, going off the checklist, you turn that one on when you're on like ILS approach basically, but pilots generally have the APU and the these pumps all set during the descent, so they're all ready for the so it just reduces the workload. But we'll go off the checklist, so we'll select PTU first, and when we come up for get closer to our arrival, we'll turn on our once we're below 10,000 feet, we'll turn on the landing gear, and we'll turn on the APU, and basically when we're getting ready for arrival, we'll turn on the AC pump, and we'll turn on the APU packs and turn off these packs. Alright, we'll see what our descent is going to be. Our final descent is going to be 3,000 feet. So we'll just get a preset. Now we'll just pull the throttles back just a bit more. Now we'll go flaps 30 initially, so I'll go flaps 30. Flaps 30 landing. Then we got our QNH sorted, so we'll set that to 12.1012 or 2988, and 2,500 feet is there. That's what they're giving us, so we'll use that. And we'll just get ready. We'll turn on our landing lights, these, get our fasten seatbelt signs on. Oh, and we'll turn on our APU so it's powering on. We might just increase the rate of descent a bit more. Use a bit of air brake just to keep that speed down as well. Alright, we're just going to take the sim rate back down to normal, and we're going to just go into heading mode. We're getting close to our RLS, so we're going to swap that over, get that ready for when we are given clearance to go into the RLS. And we'll turn on our 2500 AC pump, turn on our APU, we can turn off the switches. And we might as well just go on to our RLS.
Localizer armed. Localizer captured.
Oh, and it is one left, so we'll change that to one left. So we're just going to pretend we got changed. I selected the wrong runway by accident, but we'll just update this now. $11.15. And we'll just go back into glide slope.
Armed. Local.
Just double check if our radar altimeter hasn't changed much at all, so we'll just keep it as it is. And we will have a look outside and enjoy some of the views as we fly over my new hometown of Brisbane, as we're flying over the river there and flying over the south side of the river. You got the Gabba there, which is famous, which is the main cricket venue. You got the beautiful skyline there and all the beautiful bridges that connect up to the city there. Really lovely city. You got Suncorp Stadium over there, which is where I'm going to head over and watch a football game at some stage. And this will be definitely, actually we'll get this aircraft profiled for our... Really weird it's not giving me anything for the runway. But we'll start configuring it for our landing. Lower the landing gear and the flaps as we're flying over the. This will be definitely a beautiful approach. Landing on runway 1 left, flying over the city like that.
Speed checked below 170. Select flaps 30.
So yeah, I do find the call-outs can be a bit hit and miss sometimes, but it is what it is, and we're just going to disregard these headings and stuff. But yeah, this is a really... Oh, I better speed it up. No wonder I was going a bit slow there. But we'll just disregard all of that and just carry on with our arrival as we're flying in over the golf courses. Right, we'll turn off the autopilot.
Selected.
500. Plus 100. Minimums. Minimums. $50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Ground idle. Yellow and green. Brake pressure seen. $60 knots.
Well, it was a bit of the landing was alright, a little bit rough, but we made it there. Here we are, folks. We'll turn off the strobe, turn off the landing lights, turn on the taxi lights, and here we are. We've made it into Brizzy here. Alright, we can now go for our after landing checklist, so we can turn off the TMS. We can now, before we turn off the we'll just turn this warning thing off, and you can now turn off the various ice warnings. Like so. And just like that, it started to rain, and it's actually come up on the weather radar, which is good to see. That's working, but we can now turn that off. Of course, I'm using active sky, and it doesn't quite come up with the. There's a few little bugs with active sky, but better late than never. The rain. And we'll turn off our flight directors, we don't need those. And we'll just carry on with our taxi back to our stand. Just turn off the runway, turn off lights. Anything else we need to do? No, that's all. Everything's all good. Now we can turn our transponder, set it to the transponder setting, and we'll just taxi on to our gates. As we're driving on over the little underpass. It's really cool driving under here, driving under these active taxiways, and there's quite a cool little plane spotting site just over there. Get some nice action at seeing the aircraft take off and land if you're on the depending on the winds. And aircraft using this runway, you get some nice close-up shots of the aircraft as they taxi past. But yeah, the little parking bay is just over here, so you drive under, under this overpass, this underpass here, then you're allowed to drive down here. This is entry to the GA part of the airport, where the fly and fly out operators use. And you drive along this road here, and right here is the viewing platform. Not so much a viewing platform, that's just what it is. It's just a few parking bays, and don't think there's not even a picnic table there, but it's a decent place to view the planes as they're taxiing past. The only slight downside is there is a big cut parking lot here which blocks out some of the view, and the fence is quite high, but apart from that, no, you're pretty decent. Gone are the days though of good old fashioned terminal viewing observation decks, which I reckon is criminally underrated and underappreciated by airport developers. Drag racing this E190 jet here, and we're burning them off, brothers. Gotta feel the power of the 4 engines for the 4 APUs. Right, we're not far from our stand that we're gonna park on, our little cargo stand just over here. Alright, we can turn off our landing lights now, we don't need those. I mean our taxi lights I should say. And we're here folks, we've now come up to our parking bay and we'll open up the doors like I do with my videos, and we will end the flight there, and I'm gonna have a little decision on whether I do the next leg now or not, but we will shut down the aircraft now. All of our engine fuel cutoffs can now come off, strobe lights can now come off, chocks. We'll open up the aircraft, start deboarding. And we'll now power down the aircraft properly, finish powering it, shutting it off. Seatbelt signs can now come off. These pumps can come off. These, and we'll turn off pack 2. And that's our... oh, we'll turn off these lights as well. And that's us folks, we've finished our flight here, unloaded all the cargo, and we'll see you on the next... that plane doesn't have landing gear. Oh, it must be the new UFO ones, the microgravity ones. Anyway, we'll see you again in the next video. See you later.